from? My name is ODPBenj and welcome to Project Hospital. So in this game we'll be building our own hospital, managing it, hiring the staff and making sure we treat as many patients as we can without, well, letting them die. So, as you can see down here, I've got some mods installed on the left hand side, and I've also got all the 4 DLCs, so Traumatology, Infectious Diseases, Hospital Services and Doctor Mode. We'll be working through the insurance objectives that we get given and building our hospital as we do so. So let's get started. So we'll go into Sandbox and we'll go for an empty field, 96 by 96, want a nice big space so we can build out our hospital. Now before we start, I do want to say that I have adjusted the tweakables slightly so we can have more staff, more floors, and also we get a little bit extra income from payouts. So I have it on 150% payout. I think it's 150, maybe 200. So we get a little bit extra money so we can keep maintaining our departments as we go through. But other than that, everything standard as usual. And if we do use once we use the mods, I'll explain what it is and what we're doing. We'll be leaving patients can die on for obvious reasons and not taking these because we like a challenge. But yeah, let us begin. Should be fun. So here we are on our field. So our first insurance objective is to open the emergency clinic. We don't have any insurance companies obviously right now because well, we don't have a hospital or even a clinic. So I think so what I like to do beforehand is I like to plan stuff out. So what I'm going to do is, if we have that there and then so obviously all the Tron stuff's going to be around there. Could build, yeah. So we're going to leave yeah, that's good. So how wide is that? That's 81, so about 40 across. And because we're planning, I'm just gonna put it on the admin department just because why not? I like to do my planning on this if it's not for a specialised department. So I want a main corridor going all the way along, and then because we're just going to be starting with the clinic, I'm just going to plan that out and we'll go from there. So I'm going to have a reception desk there, just a small one. And then we have a corridor coming along here that's 4 wide again. Can have that coming down 3. Now I'm going to be planning for the future rather than just now. So you'll notice I'm putting down a considerable amount of doctors' offices. And now, as you can see there, I'm not going to fit a doctor's office in that. Well, technically I could, but it's going to be a push. So instead, in that spot, I will put I'm going to put quite a large cleaning closet, and that cleaning closet is going to cover the entire emergency. So it's going to cover there. It's going to cover the trauma things, which I plan on putting down there, which will be under the hospitalisation once we get that. Yeah, so waiting room is going to be just over at the other side. I'm going to go make it a 10 by 12. Why not? Then we're also going to put in a restroom. It's going to be a 6 by 12. A common room, which is also going to be 6 by 12. And we're going to have a corridor coming up there. Little corridor coming up there. And then this area. Okay. 1 sec. Yes, I know, I'm going to have to put all that back. I could have not removed that and made it a lot quicker, but well. Let's see, size for elevators, 4x4. And then, so what I like to do is I like to have little restrooms along the corridor. Just go like this. And I like to have plenty of lifts for the simple reason you can never have enough lifts in this game. Right, so where are we? Waiting room. There, because it gets very busy very quickly. Common room. I don't think it needs to be that big. Go to about there. That covers half of it, so then, yeah. Big restroom. And then, so something I like doing, I don't know if a lot of other people do, but I like using these study rooms as well. So if I pop a study room there, because that then allows, with that size, you'll be able to train plenty of people up. It's not a priority for now, but it's something that we can look into further on down the line. And then maybe later on we'll add pharmacy. Well, pharmacy I should probably add now, so I'll pop that down here, just opposite. About 8 by 12, yeah, that should be good. And then corridor. Like that. And chances are that'll go around this. And have a door there, door up there, something like that. But that's a problem for later, like I said. Main thing that we're focusing on now is making sure that we get a clinic set up. But the pharmacy will bring us plenty in along with that, so we need to make sure we also get the pharmacy going. So, building. So we start laying foundations. So, put this in there. Pop that up to there. Build that along there. That along there. And we're only building what we need because we have limited funds. We can take a loan, but yeah. So for the external, I'm going to go with a aluminium white panel. Make it look nice and fancy. And because we're going to be dealing with this for a little bit, going to be I can't see where I'm building. That didn't help. There we go. So yeah, when you're building walls, you need to turn your camera so you're actually facing what you're building. Because then on the other side you end up with this sort of plaster wall. And then you can choose what you want the inside to be. So, for example, for the main walls, I'd probably go with something like this. Standard blue. It's usually fine. Gets the job done. For this, I like to go with a yellowish sort of thing because I like to think yellow somewhat cleaning, isn't it? For the doctor's offices, go with a half wood, half light wood bottom panel. You know what I mean. That's already done, isn't it? This is the problem when you can't see the wall sometimes. And then, because we're facing this way, if we pop that in there and then that in, pop this in there and there. Staff room, I want wood. And for the toilets, I'll go with something like this. And then again for the training, I'll go with something like this. Keep it somewhat similar, and then I'll put a little back wall because there's going to be a lift there and some toilets there, and that should work quite nicely. Now, once I flip over, you'll see completely bare. Time to do it again. The joys. So, like I said, yellow-ish for that. Want a wooden bottom panel for the doctor's offices, which we'll go through and do now. Then, oh, we've still got these ones. Back of reception will also have that. That doesn't really matter, but we'll still pop a wall on it. So we'll pop that there. This we'll just pop the standard wall on. It's just a waiting room. That's just a corridor wall, so we'll go with that again. Again, corridor wall. And another corridor wall. And now I just fill these in because otherwise it gets very annoying. Flooring. I usually go with a dark hardwood flooring for the doctor's offices. This is usually very expensive because, well, I'm a tit. I'm not a cheap person. and then a yellow tile flooring for in there, dark one, nice wooden flooring for the reception and the waiting room, and then for the toilets, that's quite nice. For pharmacy, again we'll go with a wooden flooring, why not. For the corridors, I like to go with a nice blue. So this is our main entrance, so we'll go up like this, and I like to have this white sort of outline that goes around, and it does become a bit of a pain in the ass to do, but it definitely looks very nice, and your hospital looks a lot better for it. I think I've got like 200 odd hours on this game by now. It's ridiculous, I play way too much. So that's obviously the main corridor that goes along there. Just ignore that these are sticking out because, well, I messed up with that corridor, and that's an elevator and it has an overlap into the corridor. Yeah. Oh god, I've almost gone through the full 100 grand and we don't even have a doctor's office set up yet. Right, so now we've finished that, it's looking very nice. We need a main entrance, so we're going to go with a big double door right there, smack bang. And then we're going to need some doors on there, but we'll get to that. So for the reception, I'm going to go ahead and pop one there, one there, one there, one there. Then I'll pop a little corner on there, a corner on there, make it look all nice. I'm not going to be able to make it even, am I? Bugger. No, that's going to do my OCD. Let's move that over. Oh, of course. Pop another one in. There we go. And then we want office chairs. See, now technically it's done, however I like to add some decoration, so I like to add a coffee machine, I like to add maybe a little printer on the end, and this is where all the money goes, card file, normal vending machine, some water for them. Yeah, that's all nice. We'll add some more decorations later on. Then for here, so I like to have that facing outwards because then it takes up less room. Pop a little info TV in, and then we make it look like a standard NHS waiting room. And we just line these chairs up, and then because I've made it uneven, go like that, and we'll pop a coffee machine in and a vending machine, and then just to maximise the space we'll pop a chair. So that's those two. Now this is where things get even more expensive and we're down to 22. Great. So first thing I usually start with is the exam table. It's usually got to be placed in a very specific location because of the arrows, so it'll tell you where it needs to be put. Put a medical light in. We want a eye testing spot, so pop that close there. We want a chartboard, which I'll pop over here. I usually go with the glass desks because I like to be fancy and bougie. Pop a chair, a PC, and now with printers apparently it affects the speed of which to give the prescriptions. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but we'll find out. Want a little desk there, a CRP scan thing there. want another one, and then a audiometer, and then we'll pop a little thing there and a little disinfection thing. Now I'll just add some decoration, we'll pop that in, pop a big bookshelf, that'll be fine for now. We'll pop a little door in, and that's that one sorted. And since they're all 6x6, we can go ahead on here and then copy the room's layout. Oh, so if we click that again, go boom, 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 boom. So now we want to hire. We want at least one doctor with advanced diagnosis. That's so we can do differential diagnosis on patients that we don't know what they've got. So we'll hire 2 doctors total, and I'm going to go both with differential because, well, we've got somewhat of the money, and hopefully that will get a bit easier. And I've just, none of those candidates previously were very good, so I'm going to do that. Happy, very good. And then what are we missing? We are missing cleaning closet. So see if I can win this. I might be able to. And then a restricted access door, because we don't want people going in. Pop that there. And we want to hire a janitor. Go you, you're the best one. Why is it still not open? Ah, restroom. So we're going to take a quick loan of 20,000. And we want, some toilets. We want some sinks. We want some hand dryers, if I can see that. There. And then we'll pop a bin in just to make it a bit nicer. We'll pop some mirrors in. Pop a door in. And there we go. So we now accept patients. We have the cheaper care insurance company, and we'll soon have the uninsured company as well once we've treated patients. So what I'm also going to do is hire a receptionist. So I'm going to go with this one. See if we can. Perfect. So each person has their own little traits. So this one is a people person and reveals hidden perks of people after interacting with them. So when they interact with staff, patients, etc., they'll find out different things about that person. It can be very useful. So let us begin. The first day. As you can see, doctors are just sat here waiting for patients to be called. So let's see what's up with you. Leg injury. So you can assign different examinations and stuff, figure stuff out. So for leg injuries, it's going to be a contusion. We don't have orthopedics, so it's a bit cheaty. But then as well as that, you can go on here and you can see what's what. You can figure out that way as well. So this person, if we sort by department, scroll down to emergency, those are things that this person could have. It's a bit cheaty, but we'll get through, don't we? So let's speed this up a bit now. see what else we can get done. It's a leg contusion. So once we've treated 3 people, we'll get another insurance company and they'll give us more patients to treat per day. So then the demand goes up and up and up as you do more of these objectives. So once we treat 3, they'll send another 10, as you can see. So now we're expected to treat 20 per day, so just the 10. And then once we treat 10, that might go up, and then we get that grant as well. Once we do the objectives. I think I may need more doctors though. I'm going to hire another one. So perfect. William Wright, we'll hire you. Perfect. We've treated the 10 patients per day, so now we've got 30,000 grant. I can pay back that 20 grand I borrowed originally to, well, build the toilets. And yeah, so again we now got to treat 15 patients per day, and that then increases that insurance company's patients up to 15 per day, so then we'd be having 25 total, and it'll keep going up like that. So what I do want to build next is a pharmacy. So if we go and go for this, because I'd like to keep it universal if possible. I might just mirror it, to be honest. I think that'd look nice if I keep it somewhat mirrored. Then go for the right one and pop that there. Not there, not there. Is that not? I was going to say I thought it was. Right. I'm losing the plot. Office chairs, we want there, and there. And then we want some drug shows, so I'll put that there. We want some variety. We'll also pop a coffee machine and vending machine. Pop water cooler, water dispenser. Pop a little printer in there. Pop a little small card file in there. And pop some juice on it. And then we'll pop some benches as well for patients to wait on. Because we all know what pharmacies are like. Prescription's never ready when you need it, especially in a hospital. So, yeah, now we just need the staff. So, I will hire Karen Moore. And then I'm going to refresh that because those weren't the best. James Harris. And we should be good. Honestly, I don't think I needed 2, but I've already hired 2, so we might as well go with it now. And then what else did I have to build? Need to build the lounge, and yeah. So for the lounge, I'm going to put a sofa there, a little coffee table in the corner, pop a little meal counter next to the sofas, bookshelf there, put coffee machine in, pop a fridge, pop some lockers, and we'll pop a TV on the wall, why not? There, we'll also pop some sanitary equipment in as well. We'll pop some chairs in, why not? And if I get a little... Perfect, and then we could put a radio in as well. And then if they don't fancy using our coffee machine, we'll give them a coffee vending machine and a normal vending machine, because why not? They're busy, the hospital, they work busy, and you know, they got things to be doing. They might want it quick. They've got notes to write. Let's see. So we were profitable today, which is surprising. Generally, if we exclude building. Very surprising. And we'll skip through the night because, well, there's nothing going on. Here they are back at work. Ready for another 16 patients apparently today because people are on holiday. Look at them. So now what we've got left to build is 4 more doctor's offices and there. I'm thinking I might put some more doctor's offices up there. I should have left room for some here, but I was an idiot, which is standard. Or I could put some down here. It's not a problem for now, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, I didn't put a wall in for the toilets or the staff room or the training room. So let's start on the training room. So we want that up there, want a projector there, and then it doesn't really matter where the rest of it goes, and I like to maximise how many people I can have training. So put one there, 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 one there. Now I'm going to double up this row, because why not? Like I said, I like to maximise. And then, just because why not, pop a bookshelf in, make it nice and fancy. And then we'll pop a little door in, just there. Then we can have staff training as well. So I'm going to hire another doctor, because that way, when I can send them on training whilst they're busy. I'll go with you, you're not the best, but because we know these are arm contusions because we don't have orthopedics, so therefore it can't be a fracture. Again, contusion, we know it's not orthopedic because we don't have it. The game will only ever send you things that you've got, which is one of the beautiful things. So I want to train. So I'm just going to train one person up for now. I'm going to train him up on everything. So he'll go over to the training room, he'll sit there and undergo training. Well, she. My apologies. And yeah, they'll focus on that for the next 8 hours per thing. 8 times 4, 32 hours. Until we send them on training again. So, now we've got a bit of money, let's go ahead and copy that there. And again there. Perfect. Everything seems to be running quite nicely. Like a little GP's office if you're from the UK. We're still making profit. Perfect. Everything here is running well. So, if we look at our objectives, so to unlock one of them, oopsie we have to create a doctor with the character editor in the hiring card. So, if we go over here and then click this button, not that one, character editor, and then I'm just going to keep it as this because why not? I'm going to be boring. But then we can choose the perks and, well, the negatives. For the negative, I'm going to choose Dirty Feet. It doesn't really matter. Then for the perks, I'm going to choose Practical Diagnosis and Diagnostic Genius. And that will allow for them to diagnose a lot better. And when it's in a clinic, they all need diagnosing. So, that makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to create them for 10,000, and that gives us another insurance company. So that means we now have to reach a controlled doctor's rating of 80%. So if we go onto here and then control her, no more patients are going to come for today, but tomorrow we'll be doing the work, as well as him, and I'll stick to one. Then these objectives will get harder and harder, and yeah, we'll have to do the diagnosing for them. Look at that. Prestige 100, pretty much. 95%. I think I should probably mark this corridor as emergencies so it gets cleaned. They've only got one more training to do and then they'll be 100% on my general medicine. It's the advanced diagnosis that's going to take a while. But if you start training them early, and then you don't have to worry about doing it later on, which always is a nice thing to do. Now it's night time, we'll go ahead and skip again. Day 3. Patient numbers are back to normal. Always good, more money. And we're expecting 35 patients for today. So, as I said, today we're going to be treating patients and diagnosing them ourselves with Margaret Lewis here, our player created doctor. So, our patient James Miller, going to do physical, going to do temperature, blood pressure, mainly because I think it could be Raynaud's. And there we go. So we just treat, and then that'll turn green, and we can send them home. They'll go to pharmacy, get their drugs, and everything's good. So this is who we've got. We'll do a quick physical. We know it's an arm contusion. Prescribe all these. Well, for this, again, they're not going to give us something for internal medicine because we don't have internal medicine. So out of the two, it's going to be emergency medicine. It's going to be emergencies. It's going to be the iron deficiency anemia rather than hemolytic. So we click that, and then we just prescribe everything, because if you prescribe everything, they've got to go and buy everything from the pharmacy. It's gone green, send them home. Arm contusion. Not much we can do for a checkup, so really we've not got many examinations available, so they're not going to be very happy. There you go. Sorry, we don't get paid much for this. James Young, arm contusion. And we'll continue getting those notifications about arm contusions until we get radiology, and then the demand for radiology will be through the roof as always. So I think this one's insomnia. We're going to go through and do our examinations. Oh, we treated 20 patients. So we now have 50 grand government grant. Perfect. Perfect. And then send them home. Ooh. Do a physical skinology test. Go from there. Athlete's foot, so I'll prescribe those. And send them home. I didn't realise we got a new one, so we need to turn it to intern mode. So if I click that, that then puts us into intern mode. If I click that, resident, and that, specialist. So it depends on how many you've got selected. And I'll always select it for my patients rather than all patients, so that if I'm dealing with someone's diagnosis that isn't sure, it won't affect that. And that's all patients for today. Oh, never mind. There we go. Look at that. Going very well. well, we'll carry this on in the next episode, I guess. Thank you for watching, and catch you all next time. Thank you, bye.